Okay, we're just gonna oh excuse me. All right, we're just gonna jump right back into it. Here I am. I'm leaving the house. I had to take the trash out. Had pizza the other day, and then we got a few things in store today. One of them being, hey Cole, how's it going? There's that right there. That catalytic converter is what we're gonna be installing today. If you peep the screen right there, you'll see DIY perks, which is something on YouTube. Here I am. I'm just gonna show you my little process of getting ready. I got toothpaste, toothbrush, a little bit of cologne. I use bottled water and a cup. I don't have running water in the RV right now, so that's the best that I can do. Yeah, you gotta get back there to those cracked teeth, because the guy can't afford dental insurance, but, you know, no, take it a pee. Don't look. Don't look. And almost done. Almost done. Taking a long time, my guy. And we're done.
You ready to get some breakfast?
What's up?
You ready to get some breakfast?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready to get some breakfast, so I guess that's what we're going to be doing. And here we are. I'm putting my shoes on. I don't like walking around in the RV with my shoes off. I mean, on, so I keep them off at the door. That's my little propane tank. I got a hose running inside to a Mr. Butter heater. It's pretty cool. Keeps me warm, so that's nice. Double check that lock. Always gotta lock it. Always double check.
Okay, ready, Cole?
Because I'm weird. Here we are. There's the Jeep. Oh, look at Culver. He's ready to go. For sure. It's a little messy in the Jeep. Don't mind it. That guy's been busy. But here we go. This is kind of where I am at. Where I'm stationed for a little bit in my Starship. It's pretty nice. Shout out to my grandma, by the way. She's the one who got me this camera, so all this footage is available because of her. I just thought it was super cool. Hey, UPS guy, what's up? He ain't got nothing for me, though. I work for Amazon, so I only order Amazon packages. That's a joke. Here we are. This is one of my favorite bridges to go across. I cross it every day to go to work. It's pretty awesome. The bridge goes over a railroad track, which is pretty convenient, so I don't get stopped by any trains. But yeah, so I'm going down to the store to get some breakfast, and then I just wanted to show you kind of like a little bit of the town. But I actually go to Napa Auto Parts for my parts that we're going to be doing this, and that's a little further down the way. But yeah, this is just a little bit of the area that I live around. This is like a little walkway area that the city has, and we're back. Here's a better look at the catalytic converter. I got a pretty sweet deal on Amazon. I got it used for almost half price, so that was pretty awesome. Before I went to Napa Auto Parts, I wanted to get this little piece off here so I knew exactly what kind of parts I was looking at for a replacement. I got some PB blaster just going on there, and then here I am just getting my tools together. This is a $90 impact that I got from Amazon. It just kicks butt. Honestly, I haven't had any problems with it. There's not anything that I haven't been able to get with that and or a larger torque wrench. But most of the bolts come off pretty easy. There is a rubber grommet that you have to have with a pin, otherwise it will kind of like beat up your socket, and if your socket's not like hard metal, then it'll just like strip the inside out and won't work properly. But yeah, here I am just struggling to get the pin in and the rubber grommet around at the same time. But yeah, looks pretty good to me. Let's get under that motorhome and see what we can do about getting that off. Once I got under there, I realized that it was at such an angle to where the impact wrench didn't get straight onto the bolt. So here I am, I'm just struggling with it. And I get the top one off, holding the impact wrench upside down, but the other two were just impossible to get with that gun. So I thought one of those rotating adapters would work. So in a minute you'll see me go and grab that after trying to strip this bolt like a big dumb dummy. But here we are, squeezing down, squeezing back in, and that didn't work. I don't know why I thought it would. Here I am cranking on it. Nothing happened. So I'm getting wrench. After getting the wrench down here, I realized that it was also going to be pretty difficult because I didn't have it straight enough or enough backing, and as you can see, it just slips. And so I get my hand up in there. I can't really sit sideways, so it was pretty difficult. But eventually, tugging and squeezing and pulling on it and wrenching on it and having a few words with it, I ended up getting it loose and breaking the other one loose and getting it off there. Here I am finally getting it broke loose, and I mean, it was an accomplishment. It took me a good minute, and once I did get it broke loose, everything just seemed to kind of like, you know, fall off there, I guess. Right here, I'm taking the last bolt off. I'm going to take this piece down to Napa Auto Parts here in a minute, and we're going to get a new gasket and some new bolts, because those ones aren't reusable in my opinion because they were pressed onto that last catalytic converter. There it is. A little.
Yeah, she's off, boys.
Yep. Before I left, I wanted to pick everything up, so I put everything in this little tub right here and put it inside. I don't really feel comfortable filming in stores, so this is about all I was able to capture while I was in there. He was an excellent representative, helped me out, got me exactly what I needed. Here it is at home. What you see right there that looks like a little chain is a pipe cutter that I rented from O'Reilly's. And I mean, honestly, it was dull, and you'll see here in a minute how much of a struggle I had. Right here I'm painting it orange, and I chose Hemi orange just because what a cool color that is. And I was looking online and they said paint it orange, engrave your VIN number onto it if you can't afford to weld a anti-theft protection underneath it. So here I am just painting it orange. Right now I'm doing the first coat, and like I said, I think it looks amazing. I know it's just going underneath a motorhome, but Hemi orange, why not, right? While I waited for that to dry, I decided to get under here and get this straight off with a grinder. At the time, I didn't realize that I was going to have to measure the catalytic converter and cut both of them to fit, because the catalytic converter has a O2 sensor hole in it, and that kind of lined up right where I was cutting this at, and that just wasn't going to work, so I ended up having to recut this anyways. And yeah, this right here was a mess. Putting that second coat on, I mean, it was really just coming together. Looks really good. I didn't paint the top, but I did carve my VIN number into it. Like I said, it's just supposed to be a preventative measure. It's not supposed to keep people from stealing it. Just, you know, deter people from stealing it. Here's another shot of kind of like everything I used to install it. That hacksaw came in handy, but I didn't realize I already had one, so it was kind of a waste of 14 bucks. Shout out to True Value. Overpriced value in my opinion. Here I am trying to figure out how this thing works. It was dull. It did not do the job very well at all, but it was a good marker for the hacksaw when I did get it in there. It cut about half of it, but I assume that was just because I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, I went and did this for 35-40 minutes before my brother came out here and helped me, and he was down there for probably another 25 before we ended up getting it clean off. This is all still before my brother hops down here. I'm trying it with a hacksaw. I, again, don't know what I'm doing. Just a real struggle to get my big butt under there, and also the leverage needed to deal with cutting metal. So I ended up going back to the pipe cutter and just spinning it around for 30-40 minutes, but this time up top. So when installing, I wanted to go with orange thread locker, something that's gonna resist heat, mainly because I couldn't get a bolts that were pressed into the new catalytic converter. So I just went with thread locker and the lock washer, and I just kind of hoped that that would be sufficient enough to hold it through exhaust vibration and whatever else that it has to go through. So here we are applying the thread locker. I don't know how people do it, but this is me wiping it around, doing what I can. It's gonna go kind of fast, but I did want to show you most of it. Here I am just kind of getting the gasket, figuring out which way that goes. I googled it earlier the day before, and you know, just did what Google told me to do. So we got that top bolt in there, and I just kind of use that to hold it so it doesn't fall on my head, and then I prop up the other side with my knee while I put Loctite on this bolt, and then just kind of thread that in there. After getting the bolts in there and everything, I'm going to try and tighten it up here, and it was pretty challenging because, again, that angle of the impact wrench just did not want to work out very well. So I tightened it as tight as I could with the impact wrench, and then went under here with a wrench and ratchet, and just ratcheted it the rest of the way as tight as I could. You know, till the elbow clicks is about, you know, torqued, right? That's what I was always told. Here's the back half. I know that it's not like perfectly seamed up right here, and that's okay. I'm not a doctor. I'm not suturing somebody's skin together. I'm just putting an exhaust on. So I thought this clamp was just the coolest thing ever. As you can see, there's that little hole up at the top, and that's why it prevented me from just being able to put it up in there. But I did have to make one cut on the existing exhaust and then one cut on the catalytic converter, and this is where it ended up, is just barely enough to get on this side of that exhaust clamp and the O2 sensor hole. So I mean, it just barely fit in there without taking any more of the existing exhaust off. This initial tightening was not tight enough. I went back down and tightened it even further. As you can see, this is me trying to tighten the front down even further, and so I just got everything as tight as possible, and this is it all fired up, and I'd say it sounds a lot better than that straight pipe sound it was making before. There is a little bit of smoke coming out there, but I heated the catalytic converter up to like operating temperatures and got it pretty warm, and then let it cool down. This is a few days later. I just wanted to throw it in because I was able to also get batteries during this time. So I wanted to show you what I did with the generator. Here I'm trying to get a little bolt out. It's the ground bolt that I'll screw in here in a minute and see if we can't get this started. Me being who I am, I just start cranking on it. It does not start. So after a little bit, I am thinking it's got to be one of three things: spark, fuel, or compression. So I get underneath and I turn the fuel regulator up a notch, around a little bit, see what's going on, and I think that it's a fuel issue. The motorhome even might be too low on fuel. It has an automatic shutoff at a quarter tank, and it's getting pretty close to that, so it might have already hit it without me knowing. That fuel filter right there is just, it's toast. It's done. It's going to need a new one. That one's all cracked and old. After that, I check all of the connections, make sure that the fuel's actually being plugged in, and it looks good. I mean, I don't see any leaks or anything like that, but it also might not be flowing, so who knows. I could not get the generator started. So good old-fashioned no CD form. I wanted to start playing my Xbox again, so I got this old TV right here, and setting it on this table right here. It's a little too heavy, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace these rivets over here. Let's see if you can see them. I'm gonna go ahead and replace that. Just drill a couple new holes in here, and then I got this and some of these, so we'll rivet that on real quick.
Gross.
I just start drilling away. This original drill bit was too small, so I ended up getting another one and drilling it out a little bigger afterwards. I drilled 4 holes on the right side and went ahead and just riveted that down. I should have done maybe 4 more on the left side as well, but when I originally inspected it, it looked like it was good enough. I'm just going to take and put the proper rivet attachment on. It was a really cool tool, super easy to use, and it held it pretty well. I'll show you all 4 real quick, super fast. There we go, that's one. And that first one secured it pretty good already, but I put the other ones in just because I already drilled the holes. And it's also a pretty big TV, so better safe than sorry, right? This episode was a little different, but I also ain't going on an adventure. I'm kind of just doing things around the house. So I decided to do a voiceover this time, kind of help track the story along a little bit. If you guys like what you've seen or are interested in seeing more of this kind of like improvement stuff, how I live, what I do, and even more of this voiceover stuff, please just let me know down in the comments below. If you liked what you've seen, don't forget to like it. If you're new here and you've made it this far, I appreciate you watching. You guys mean the world to me. The support's amazing, and just the opportunity to be able to tell my story is pretty amazing. So I just want to say thank you guys so much. We're pretty much at the end of all today's projects and what we were able to accomplish last week. So again, I love you guys, and I just hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day.